a major problem for me is the data that comes out of this system can be extremely variable. And I have been racking my brain over this for years, like, oh, is it because I hand wound those coils? Like, is it, is it my fault? Or is it the nanoparticles? Is it like some weird like quantum physics stuff going on where they just like decide to be different every day? I've been struggling to like feel like I can really make a claim about anything because the data is variable and I don't know what's causing that variability. I think it's really important to be honest in science, and I don't
Right.
want to come out and be like, "Oh, yeah, I did this and it affected that," when I'm not sure. I don't know if that's what happened. So, one thing I did, and this has really changed kind of my viewpoint on science, I started working with a statistician, and that was 2 years ago. And I went in there and, in science a lot, like, we'll make, like, I can't reproduce these exact particles. I can make, like, this, if I make a batch of them, that's that batch. The next batch will be different. Like, they're
Right.
never the same. He's like, oh my gosh. He's like, you can't really, like, replicate this stuff. I'm like, I mean, that's just, yeah, nobody really replicates stuff in that way because you can't.
Right.
But what I can do with MPS is I can take a lot of measurements. So before I would go and I would make one little tube of something and I would measure it one time. I'd be like, okay, this is my data. Like, I want to make some comparisons about like different things that I did to it. Like, can we talk about that? And he's like, you need to measure it more than once. It was so foreign to me that that's something that I would need to do. I did it. And that's when I realized like how big I didn't know that I had variability. I knew that sometimes I would come back and I'd measure the something again, like another day, and it would be different. And I'm like, that's weird. Like, what
Uh,
happened? But
yeah.
then when I actually opened the hood and stopped taking the average of everything, which is like kind of the thing that people do in my field, I was like, oh, like this is like really crazy. This data is really crazy. The takeaway is that there's like a lot of variability that I think people don't know about because you wouldn't know unless you looked for it. Or they just aren't talking about it and are publishing it anyways. I really kind of rewrote my whole PhD work because now I work with a statistician. We have a paper on like, how do you actually honestly represent data that looks like this using statistical models? Now we're talking about how to use machine learning to classify those samples and like what's the best way to measure them? Like, how many times do you need to measure them to actually be like certain of what you're
Right.
getting?